Someone once told me that Gurdjieff, don't know if you know about him, Gurdjieff, like a century ago, he lived in Paris and he was teaching all these aristocratic women to develop themselves and with difficult exercises to have more focus and to, with a very esoteric angle as well. But apparently he said that you will only know the degree of someone's personal development, how they will react if they can't find their slippers. Will they have a tantrum or will they be cool about it? And that's very funny and so true, I think. And therefore, someone like the girl or boy next door might actually be more evolved in that sense than someone who fills concert halls to talk about personal development and is actually pretty immature themselves on an emotional level. Dear crystal ball, which other influencer and guru will fall through and not be with as much integrity as we've all been thinking so far? I'm actually triggered to talk about this because the whole Deepak Chopra in the Epstein files, someone wrote a blog post, I will link it in description, about what she, also a professional in the self-help, she's a writer and so on, has been shocked about in the last decade or so about behavior of well-known influencers in this field. For example, she wrote about Louise. Hey, my goodness, apparently she as well was kind of a predator personality, ready to ruin someone's career because he didn't answer her advances to have a fling going. It's like, okay, but why judge these people so harshly? Well, because they are writing all this stuff about being all fluffy and perfect, and you can heal your life and you can manifest gold. It's basically a business that is pretty flawed. In my professional career, I've been in the world of yoga and courses and so on. And in the past, I worked somewhere that was very big on 5 rhythms. Do you know this? From Gabrielle Roth. It's an American dance system, which is about going through different rhythms, and it's like a healing modality to dance. One of those stars, celebrities, that just hundreds of people would travel from far and away. When the bill from the hotel came, he must have been looking at porn in his hotel room for like hours and hours because of the bill that came from the hotel. Would all these people's experience have been less than what it was if they had known that this guy was just like immersing himself with porn whenever he was away from them? I don't know, but possibly so. People are having a human experience with inspirational sides and flaws, right? I would say that is the premise, and we should just altogether stop idolizing absolutely anyone. Unless they're Jesus. No, I'm kidding. So how do I think that you can recognize a real influencer who's walking the talk? That's a way of summarizing what we are looking for, no? How to recognize that? I think number one is heart coherence. How does this person make you feel? Often these people are very tied up in their head. What is the look in their eyes? Is there a softness? Is there a softness in their voice? Do things feel heartfelt, or are you mostly taken on a ride because of their mental theorizing? Many people who end up in these, say, esoteric self-development worlds have, from my experience, a tendency to get into shortcuts. It's called also spiritual bypassing, where you use concepts to neglect things that would be better to look at. Oh yeah, but I'm detached, it doesn't affect me. If you're not dealing what is actually there, you are ignoring the human experience. You think you're above it, whilst you're not, and you're completely missing the point of being here. Another thing is humor. To be able to laugh with oneself, to put things into perspective, to allow not being sure. If someone seems so sure, that is a sign, right? I find that a red flag. You have to always leave doubt, leave an opening for having it completely wrong, because honestly, what do we all know? We are all here. Even, and I'm talking about Jesus again. I'm sorry, this is not like, I'm not like a Christian channel. Let's just take it as a symbol if it didn't actually happen. He, at the end, when he was on the cross, he was abandoned, right? He asked God, why did you abandon me? Why? Because he had the human experience, and the human experience is without the knowledge. It's without the manual for everything. That is the whole point. You have to navigate all the landscapes yourself, every time again. And yes, believing most probably helps, but in the end, there is always, let's say, the dark night of the soul and so on. There is a loneliness in this human experience that even Jesus experienced. Keep things simple. That's what I have found in my life so far. Do not go for far-fetched, complicated things, because most often, or very often, they disguise what is actually very simple. If it's complicated, look out. The gold in this life is in staying with the human experiences, with your emotions, with your feelings, with your well-being, with your nervous system, with your body. If you just have your attention to all that and to your relationships, and just being in your personal environment like a source of light and inspiration. Very curious if there can be a conversation about this. I will link to that blog post below. It is interesting, and it can help to take all these influencers with a pinch of salt.